right, we're gonna cut on three, guys. 1, 2, 3.
I'm Jeff Aiken with Tennessee Farm Bureau, and it is indeed my pleasure to welcome you here this evening for such an exciting event. I'd like to begin, if you'd allow me, to introduce some of our Farm Bureau dignitaries that are here, and I'll begin with our board of directors. I think most of our board members are here, and we're glad to have them here to celebrate with us this evening. Ms. Radonna Rose, Executive Vice President of the Tennessee Farm Bureau Federation. Jeff Pannell, CEO of Farm Bureau Insurance. And Anthony Kimbrough, CEO of Farm Bureau Health Plans. And we have many other staff that are here, and we're glad to have each and every one of them. I'd also like to recognize Wilson County Farm Bureau and many of their board members and staff and agents that are here under the direction of Mr. Powell Neal, the president of Wilson County. Glad to have y'all here this evening as well. I would like to thank Mayor Randall Hutto and the Wilson County Agriculture Committee for the diligence, the patience, and the professionalism that allowed this agreement to become a reality. At the Tennessee Farm Bureau, our mission statement for nearly 100 years has in part said that we should strive to promote agriculture within our state. And I believe that we have brought together the premier agriculture organization in this state, along with the premier ag venue site in the state of Tennessee. And together, we are expecting great things from the Farm Bureau Expo Center. Making it even greater is knowing that the folks at Wilson County share the same vision to promote agriculture, and that's going to make it even more of a success. Obviously, at the Farm Bureau, we expect to benefit from this partnership, partly by the fact that 1 million people will pass in front of this Expo Center and see our signage each year. But we also expect that Wilson County will gain from it by the fact that we're going to provide statewide exposure, even greater than what you've experienced before. Actually, in the last year or two, we've held events here, Farm Bureau events. We've hosted the Secretary of Agriculture and the Administrator of EPA, and they came off great, and we look forward to many more events in the future. But at the end of the day, more than benefiting Wilson County and more than benefiting the Tennessee Farm Bureau, I hope that the biggest accomplishment from this is the promotion of agriculture, our top industry in this state. And along with agriculture, the farmers, the agriculture organizations, and the youth of our state, that they'll utilize this facility to celebrate, to plan for, and to promote the great industry of agriculture. Thanks again to each of you for being here with us this evening. We're honored that you've joined us and look forward to great things at the Farm Bureau Expo Center. At this time, I'd like to turn the program over to Gayle Hibbert, who is the director here at the Expo Center. Gayle.
Thank you, Jeff. On behalf of Mayor Hutto, I would like to extend his sincere apology that he is not able to be with us today. A little thing like his daughter's wedding was planned, so he felt like that took priority to be at, and we totally understand and wish him and his daughter well. But he did wish that he was here, but he asked me if I would share a few remarks on his behalf. And we are, according to Mayor Hutto's comments, we are very excited to be a partner with Farm Bureau Federation, which is, as he stated, a class act from top to bottom. The integrity of their organization and the people that they surround themselves with is just utterly outstanding. The Farm Bureau represents what we all cherish here at the Expo and the James E. Ward Ag Center, and that is agriculture, as Jeff just mentioned. And agriculture is and always will be the main staple of the grounds that we're sitting on right now. And everyone who has made this partnership successful and happen today for the reason that we're all here, he wants to extend his most sincere gratitude for helping to make that happen. And if you haven't had a chance, the signs outside are beautiful during the daylight, but if you get a chance to get a glimpse of them at night, they certainly light up the building in a bright red and a bright white, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And if you watch the slide presentation, you're going to see a couple short glimpses of what they look like, but that doesn't even come close to representing what they look like when you actually drive by and see them. So that being said, there's a few people in the audience that I would like to recognize because they are what make the events that Jeff mentioned and all of the events here happen. And we as a team here at the Farm Bureau Expo would like to welcome you, and I would like to introduce you to who that team is. And they're all congregated in the back wearing shirts just like mine, so they're pretty easy to pick out. And back there we have Mary Carney and we have Brenda Ashford, who are our operations staff. You guys can wave so they know who you are. We have Janice Kidd, who is the administrative assistant. Over hiding in the corner over here, we have Zendel Murphy, and he is our general manager. And then, as you've already been told, I'm the director of marketing and events. And together, we work very diligently to make sure that your events, anybody's events, come off exactly as they planned. We become your partner in making the events happen the way you want them to. I would be remiss if I did not introduce Quentin Smith, who is the director of the Ag Center, who's also backed by Zendel, and Donna Bain, the event coordinator in his office. She wasn't able to be with us tonight due to also a family obligation, but we certainly, together, the two groups, we work very diligently to find the space and make things happen for you. That being said, the Expo Center is extremely excited. I'm going to close with the same thing I opened with, is extremely excited to now be known as the Farm Bureau Expo Center. We have a new look, we have a new name, and we're ready to work with this new partnership and make both the Farm Bureau Expo successful as well as Farm Bureau in any capacity that we can. Thank you for being here this evening to celebrate with us. I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff.
So, Gayle, thank you for those comments, and we are indeed excited for what the future holds. But we have one other thing that we would like to do this evening while we have such a great crowd of Wilson Countyans here. At our President's Conference banquet later this week, we intend to recognize someone who could be called the father of ag enhancement. And due to COVID-19 and the challenges that we're facing, we want to make that presentation here this evening, especially when friends and family and folks that have known him for a lifetime can be with us. Stratton has been a lifelong advocate for agriculture and a longtime friend of Farm Bureau. He has always worked to improve life for Tennessee farmers. And at our conference, there will be a video shown on Thursday night with footage of Stratton Bone. And I wish you all could be there. But within that video, he makes the original motion that statutorily funded ag enhancement to the tune of $21 million. Following our banquet Thursday night, just so you're aware, that video will be available on the Tennessee Farm Bureau webpage, and I'd encourage all of you to go there and take a look at that video. I think if you're involved in agriculture, you would agree with me that no other program within our state has provided the kind of economic impact, the improved livestock genetics, or increase the safety for farmers of our state like the Ag Enhancement Program. As a matter of fact, for every dollar that has been invested in that program, it's generated a return, an additional fund of $6.09. That's a pretty incredible number there. And the program, since its inception, has been supported by both Democrats and Republicans through the years, and continues to be instrumental in helping farmers across our state to both expand and improve their operations. While Stratton Bone contributes to Tennessee agriculture through the years, and those contributions have been amazing and innumerable, I would say that perhaps none have been more important and valuable to Tennessee farmers than his vision for creation of the Ag Enhancement Program. Stratton, if you would join me up here, it would be my pleasure on behalf of the farmers across the state of Tennessee and the Tennessee Farm Bureau to present you with a plaque.
Thank you, Mr. Aiken. Owen, could you come over and help me a minute? Owen, this is my nephew, and Owen's pretty good at holding these plaques. Kate, you want to come have him hold this? We can use you too. Radonna wanted me to sit up close. She didn't think I could get up here as quick as I did. But anyway, I made it. There's a whole lot of things I could tell you about ag enhancement. Yeah, I want to share that with your sister, Kate, about ag enhancement and the birth of that. And I'm writing all these things down, and when I get old, I'm going to complete my book about that. And y'all get to read it in about 10 or 15 years, because some of it shouldn't be told at this time. But there were a lot of interesting stories and a lot of interesting things that happened. I wish Commissioner Givens was here, because he and I worked very closely on that, plus the committee, other people in the Department of Agriculture, farmers across the state that I vaguely knew, and I'd call them up and ask them what they thought about such and such. People at the College of Agriculture, University of Tennessee, talked to a lot of them. But one of the strangest things that happened in 2005, I'll be very brief, Mr. Aiken. I won't take much of your time. But I do have Givens' time, because he's not here, so I can use his time. In 2005, I went up to see Governor Bredesen, and he was very supportive of agriculture. I knew that from day one. He knew about as much about agriculture as I knew about physics, which was his major in college. I knew nothing about physics. He didn't know anything about agriculture either. I'll be honest, we've talked about that before. And then we went back in '06 and we got $6 million, and that was a lot of money. But I had wanted some way to have that money every year to come over for ag enhancement and not have to go through that begging process to go ask the governor to put it in his budget. And I just wanted that to happen. I wanted a certain amount of money put in there. And so, of all things, that year in '07, Governor Bredesen had a piece of legislation that he was pushing to raise a tax on cigarettes. We were one of the lowest in the South. He wanted that money for some kind of educational program, which was good, I'm sure. I know it was good. And so that bill, of all places, was sent to the Agricultural Committee. And I was the chairman of the Ag Committee at that time. And what in the world are we going to do with this? And so his lieutenants would come down and they'd talk to me. He says, Chairman Bowman, you need to put this bill on notice. And, yes, sir, I understand. I'd let a week pass and didn't do it. They'd come back. Said, did you understand we need to put this bill on notice? I said, yeah, I understood that. So the third week they came back, I said, I got 2 or 3 things I'm trying to get out of the way. I was stalling for time is what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So anyway, after that, Commissioner Givens called me. I'll never forget that conversation. He said, Stratton said, what's your problem over there? What's your problem? I said, what do you mean, Commissioner? What's the problem? He said, well, you know, I work for the governor. I said, I understand that. And so they're putting a lot of pressure on me. And I said, well, I'm working with people back in my district who I'm working for. So he said, just what is your plan? What do you want to do? And I said, I want to put an amendment on the governor's legislation that we put so much money each year in ag enhancement. And every year when the budget comes around, that money's there. And I want to stop all this begging process that we have to do. And there was a long pause on the other end of the phone. I forget that. And finally he says, you know, I don't think you got a chance in the world of doing that, but I sure do like the way you think. And I thought, well, we got a chance now. And of course, you know what happened after that. Got it through the committee. It wasn't unanimous, but we got it through the committee. And that night, about 8 o'clock, I got a phone call. I was still in the office, and nobody else was there. Waiting for traffic, got a little better to come back over here to Lebanon. And the phone started ringing. And I started not to answer the thing. And I thought, well, Marty may be calling maybe a cow on the road or something. Maybe I ought to take this call. I said, hello, Stratton, this is Phil Bredesen. I thought, oh, my, I just gotten part of his money that day. He said, I want to thank you for getting this bill through your committee. And I said, well, Governor, you know, I kept part of your money. I put an amendment to take $21 million of your money and put over here for this ag enhancement. Not just 21, but the first 21 it generated. I don't want the tail end. We want the fresh money. And he said, I know. Says, Ken's already come over here and told me what you did. So I have no problem with that. Thank you for getting the bill through your committee. So that was about it. But that was something that happened that was real interesting right on the front. But since then, I've talked to a lot of people that have used ag enhancement, and it's been a big help, no question about it. And when you go and speak somewhere and you ask people where this money comes from, they sales tax or this tax or that tax. I said, no, it's a cigarette tax. Not on snuff, not on chewing tobacco or anything else, just on cigarettes. So any of you people that smoke, we appreciate what you're doing for us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I think this is 15 years of ag enhancement. Again, thanks to Stratton Bones. So if you want to do the math, you can see the impact that Tennessee Ag Enhancement Program has had on farmers across this state. So once again, Stratton, we appreciate it. And again, we thank all of you for being here tonight. I've got to point out the gentleman that's now in charge of spending or allocating ag enhancement money has joined us in the back of the room. Commissioner Hatcher, we're glad to have you here with us this evening. And with that, we invite all of you to stay and join us for food in the back. Thanks again for being here.
All right, we're going to cut on 3, guys. 1, 2, 3.